Welcome to the Supreme Lending Dallas Show, where you'll be introduced to different speakers on different topics, and you'll meet different guests for each of our episodes. Let's get started.
Hi, my name is Liz Evans, host of today's Supreme Lending Dallas Show. I'm so excited to introduce you to our guest today, and I want to introduce Supreme Lending Loan Officer Anders Grove and his Realtor Patricia MiHanda. And we have such exciting news to share with you today on new builds versus pre-existing homes. And Patricia's going to talk about some of her background history coming from Africa to the United States. We're also going to talk with Anders on being a coach and what it means to him about being a coach and his Kansas City Chiefs. And so let's get started. So Patricia, when is the best time to buy?
So, in my opinion, when is the best time to buy? That's quite a complex question in terms that depending if you are going with your resale house or brand new house. But what I would say is, as a realtor, I have the inside scoop. I know what's going on in the market. I know the real estate market in and out. So I'll advise based on if you are thinking of building, then I would say, well, the best time to buy, it's going to be probably when the builder are going toward the end of the fiscal year. So at that time, they become very aggressive. They're trying to sell as much as they can because they have a target number that they're trying to hit. And then depending on if you are trying to go with resale house, then I would say, well, the best time is going to be when you have the lower interest rate. I always reach my lender and say, hey, Andres, what is the interest rate in the market? And then once he give me that, and I will say, well, this is going to be the best time to buy for someone who's going for resale.
Okay, and so you touched on interest rates. Anders, how does someone know what the interest rate is going to be from day to day or moment to moment?
Yeah, that's a great question, Liz. That's something here at Supreme Lending that we watch on a daily basis. We watch the market, see where it's going, and we help our clients advise when the best time to lock that rate in is. With new builds, we mentioned that can be a little tricky because we're talking, a 7 to 8 month build out time. Mm-hmm. And of course, rates can change pretty dramatically in that amount of time, up or down. We do offer some extended rate locks that, that we can look at up front. And I always look at that option. Does it make sense for the client? Because of course, they're going to cost a little more than, for instance, you can lock it at 15-day, you can lock in at 30 days, 45 days, all the way up to, 6 months, but that's going to come with a cost. Does it make sense? Do we think the market's going to, it's going to move, but how much is it going to move? And does that cost matter? Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that we typically do is we take a look at all those angles.
Correct.
And the other aspect of this is at Supreme Lending Dallas, we have this exceptional program. It's called our Plus program, and we've used it several times. And it's good for conventional financing, FHA financing, and VA, and even USDA. So across the board, we can access that special pricing. And really, the only items that it takes to qualify for that potential program is to have a loan amount of over $300,000 and a credit score over 700. So we just cut a slot of rates out for those special borrowers.
Okay, and thank you, Anders. Great information there on interest rates. So tell us, why Supreme Lending when people are out there and there's so many other lending companies offering similar programs or other programs than what Supreme Lending has to offer? Why Supreme?
Well, I think first of all, it's on the operations. We're averaging 22 days from application to close, and that's huge. And unfortunately, in our business, you don't understand how important that is until you need to close on time, or you need to close fast, or something falls through, or your rate lock is expiring. We're able to avoid a lot of extra fees because we can close fast. We also are able to win deals for our realtor partners because we can promote a 3-week close and call the listing agent on a specific deal or a builder and be able to let them know with confidence that yes, we can get the deal done in 3 weeks on a purchase, which is very, very big. So operations number one, Supreme. Communication is the second piece. You can ask Patricia. We've had many talks on a Sunday evening, a Saturday morning, a Wednesday evening, during business hours. The bottom line is, I've always said this, is people don't buy houses 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Mm-mm.
They buy houses on the weekend, they buy houses in the evening, and we make ourselves available, which I think is super important. The third item is, and we addressed this earlier, but I believe that we are very competitive with our programs on pricing. And most of the time with our Plus program, we are industry leading as far as rates are concerned.
Great information.
So to what Anders said, probably the view may not understand this, or even the normal customer may not really understand when they say closing on time. It's very important for that. For instance, for that client who has to be out of the apartment in 30 days. Or in 28 days, to find somewhere where a lender who can close you in 20 or 25 days and confirm that's really a key to us as a realtors. It's something, it's a plus, and I think that's why Supreme Lending also play a huge role when they tell you, I'm gonna close you in 30 days or 25, and they do follow through with that. So I think that's really, I wanted to emphasize on that as a realtor, not as a lender.
Great information, thank you.
Thank you.
And so, Patricia, tell the audience how you will guide them through the home process.
So how would I guide my clients through the home process is I'm going to have to set up the expectation, what is expected, because once they walk through the builder, most of the time they find this beautiful home that is fully upgraded. But then the builder has this way of presenting just the base price. So to me, when I prep them, I'll say, well, what you're seeing here, it's not the base price. On the top of that, you have to consider that you're going to have some upgrades. So I prepare them ahead of time. And also I try to educate them in the difference between builders. What is required? What is the standard? And what is upgrade? Not only that, what is to look into quality, not just something that is shining, but going to deeper and see what is really needed for my house. Do I need a wood floor compared to probably a carpet? So I have to educate them because most of the time they're first-time home buyer, and probably this is the first experience for them, and it can be overwhelming. So to have someone that you can rely on, someone with experience, and take you through it, I think that's a plus, and that's what I do for my clients.
Yes, very important. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Patricia. So right now, not only is Anders Grove a loan officer and Patricia a realtor, but they have hobbies and passions also. And one of Anders' hobbies is being a coach. And we have a photo of Anders and his team. So Anders, talk about how coaching affects you and how it affects you in the world as being a loan officer.
Yeah, Liz, that's a great question. So for me, I grew up with football. Football is a big deal to me, and I'm fortunate to have 3 sons, and football is just really big in our family. And I use that as a way to spend time with my sons. It's a very important time for me, and it's also an important time for me to help in my community. One thing that I'm very passionate about is taking youth football players and getting them ready for middle school football. Mm-hmm. Here in North Texas is kind of the sports mecca, we'll call it. It's very competitive. It's a big deal here, and to get these young children, boys, ready to play a man's game is one of my passions. And and then I also help at the high school level too, is where I run the booster club at the high school for the football team. So I'm not able to coach in high school, don't have those credentials. But I get that satisfaction on the youth field, and then I get to help support the team from the Booster Club standpoint.
And Patricia, we want to come back to you now because you're so fascinating with what you brought to the USA from Africa. So you speak several different languages. You've been to 54 countries and 4 continents. So go ahead and tell us how did you decide that you wanted to come to the USA?
So I decided that, actually I didn't really decide. It was not a choice. I had to come to the USA for school. my parents felt like you want to go to school, then you're going to go to the USA, because in any country that is outside the US, we feel like US provide the best in terms of education and so forth. So I came here for school. I came in college. I went to University of Baltimore in Maryland. And after that, I graduated, and then I went to the World Bank. How was I able to secure the position with the World Bank? I guess because of my language, my education first, but then my background. I speak French, I speak Swahili, I speak Lingala, and now I am learning to speak English. I haven't quite excel on that yet, but I'm working toward it.
I disagree. You do great.
So
I agree.
So from the World Bank, I start traveling because we have different programs in different countries where I will go ahead of time to make sure that the program has been implemented. And then from the World Bank, I went to Johns Hopkins University, and I was working in public health. I always try to, I guess my passion is help. I try to help as much as I can. Mm-hmm. And I found through the World Bank and the Johns Hopkins, I was able to fulfill that. And it came with the benefits, with the travel and all that. It was part of the job.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the countries you've been to and why?
So I've been to, we have been to Indonesia because we had a program there for infants. And then I've been to Tunisia because we had a program in Tunisia. I've been to Tokyo on vacation when I was going to Indonesia. That's a part of it. While you work and then you take advantage of that. I've been to Morocco. I've been to Kenya. I've been to Tanzania. I've been to Rwanda. And the list goes on. I enjoy each country bring a different value, and I learned so much into different countries and culture. But at the end, I came to figure out that we are all one person, just with different languages and probably colors, but we are all one. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Patricia. And we have a photo of you with a box of, is it cookies in the trunk of your car? Tell us about that.
So it was around Thanksgiving, and I like to prior to COVID, before Thanksgiving, prior to COVID, I'll prepare some sort of gathering for all my tribe. I call them my tribe. That's my client, people that I've been able to serve, with Anders. He knows that already. So, but then with COVID, I was unable to do that. I was unable to bring everybody together because of what we know. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, how can I still connect with them and show them that you are part of this tribe? We want to share something, because a tribe, you share whatever you have, we share with everybody. So I figure, okay, I'm gonna go and deliver to 50 families pie for Thanksgiving. So we did pies and cookies, 25, because they have kids, they have family, and that was a way for me to connect with them and celebrate with them. So we did, it took us 2 days, but we were able to finish the 50 houses.
Wow. So that just shows how much you care about your tribe. And you have mentioned your tribe. So share with the audience what my tribe means to you.
So my tribe, what is my tribe means to me? Means to me. So my first we have to understand what is a tribe. Coming from Africa, tribe, it's a very strong word to use. That's number one. Number two, every time when you know that someone came from your tribe, without even knowing the person, you feel connected. Without knowing the person, you feel like I can share with them. This is part of me. So when I came here to this country, through the World Bank, through Johns Hopkins, I always try to create that little tribe, people who think like you, you can share the same value and you can bring something new to them. So then when I moved into real estate, I was like, I can replicate the same thing. Who are my tribe? People who are purchasing homes, houses, we speaking the same language. I tell them about interest rate. They understand what is the interest rate. Folks that I say, hey, it's time to apply for a homestead, they get it. So we have a language that we speak among ourselves, that when I say one thing, they understand what it is. Or when I say, well, it's tax time and you can claim the tax that you pay throughout the year, and that's how you're going to pay, you're going to get the tax back. So those are the things, the small things that I feel like a common person in the street who probably hasn't purchased a house yet will not understand that language, but that's a language we speak in my tribe.
And so they are family. We have what we call our hashtag Supreme Lending Family for Life. And so that's such as you with My Tribe.
Correct. It's My Tribe for Life. Actually, one of my clients say, hey, you should have a hashtag, My Tribe for Life.
Absolutely. I agree. Claim that. Anders, what's the difference between a pre-existing home versus a new build for those out there looking for a home?
Yeah, Liz, that's a great question. I think it starts with, it's really a personal preference. What are you looking for? Let's talk about new build first. First thing you're going to give the new build is a 10-year warranty. It's very important, right? The house is protected for those first 10 years that you live in it, if you live in it that long. Another piece with the new build is you have a little bit of flexibility as far as you can design and add different elements. Patricia talked earlier about the different upgrades you can make. You have to start with the base model. You can kind of tailor it to how you want it to be. The other aspect is it's brand new. It's yours. No one's ever lived in it before. It has new technology. It's safer, could be safer with that new technology. So there's a lot of wins when it comes to new build, and it's really up to what are you looking for. When you look at pre-existing, the bigger items there are maybe you want to live next to a predominant school that you want your kids to be a part of. Or maybe there's a church that pulls you in that you want to make sure you're in that community. Also with pre-existing, the landscaping and the area is a little more developed a lot of times versus new build. You're starting from scratch, starting from the very beginning. So it's not really established yet.
So then it takes longer to get into a new build because of the time it needs to be built rather than someone that's wanting to close in less than 30 days on a pre-existing home.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, that's a great point too. You're looking at possibly, 3 to 8 months on a new build, whereas pre-existing, the inventory's out there. But one thing that we're seeing right now with pre-existing is extreme competition. We're having homes that are having 30 to 40 offers. And it's really hard to win the deal. You don't see that as much in the new build arena because of the lead time to build. You can kind of pick, and you're not really competing with other buyers as much as you are with pre-existing.
And Patricia, as a realtor, you will not only represent your buyers through the process, but most importantly, you will advocate and stand up for your buyers. Go ahead and talk about that.
So yeah, I always try to explain to that's a very good question because buyers, especially first-time home buyers, they have this tendency of thinking that I don't need a realtor when I'm going for a brand new house. I can just go and talk to the builder. Now understanding that really that builder or that salesperson is representing the builder. They're not representing you. So the easiest way that I always explain to my client, jokingly, I would say, well, how can you go in front of the judge without a representation? And yet the better one is that I'm going to represent you, but free of charge because you're not paying me anything. I'm going to be covered with the builder. The builder is what is going to cover my fees. So once I present it that way, they kind of understand really that this is not, it's not going to be fair to them to go into an arena where they really don't understand the language because builders and all that, they speak a totally different language. You have to understand that in order to be comfortable. So I'll explain to them and then I'll take them through the process with the builder. Again, I'm going to go back to when it's standard and upgrade. I'll explain to them what you're seeing. It's not what you're going to get. You have to upgrade to that. So I'll prepare them in advance. We're also going to talk about when it's going to be a good time. I say, well, let's wait when it's going toward the end of the fiscal year or the quarter. So then we can go into contract because at that time they have a lot of incentives that they give. And then we can negotiate it. We even have the leverage. So I'll prep and educate my client before we go there. And once we go there, I know these builders. I know how the pocket are really deep. So there's some things they can do for my buyers. And that's when I bring my knowledge and expertise.
Great. And as we start to close, I know I'm so thankful for all of our loan officers and the realtor partners because we're not only just a loan officer to you and you're not just a realtor to us. we are family and we value the trust that we have in each other. So explain to the audience how important it is to have Anders help you during the loan process, and Anders the same back to Patricia as being the realtor to work with, as, like I said, being a family and that trust you have.
Correct. So I'll even extend and say he's part of my tribe. I consider him as part of the tribe, because I'm going to explain the reason why I feel like working with someone like Anders, it's very important as a loan officer, because number one, like he said, sometimes I'll call him on a weekend. Not sometimes, all the time. And I will start with a text like, hey, can you talk? And then he will reply like, yeah, or give me 5 minutes or whatever. So we'll talk and I'll call him, I'll explain what I'm looking for. And then we're going to go through the numbers, or somebody just apply, but at the same time, I'm taking them to the builder. So I want to see if you can jump on it and look, just give me a green light that they are okay so we can go to the builder. So are you going to find something like that everywhere? No, absolutely not. I've been doing this for quite a while, and I know there's some lenders there that do Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. I don't need somebody like that, because when people are going to look for those homes, I want to be able to call my lender and he's right there. And not only that, to Anders, my client, they are not just a number to him. It's not just like, oops, this is another file. No, he knows them. He knows them by name. He knows the story. He knows it's a tribe. We speak the same language. He's trying to help as much as I'm trying to help them. So that it's really a key. If there's anything that's number one, like someone, you are not just representing a number or just a file, but this is a person. Yeah. This is a person who has 25 days to finish the lease. And if you don't close them on time, they're going to be on the street. So once a lender understands that, a lender like Anders, then I'm just sold. I'm right there.
Thank you, Patricia. And back to you, Anders, about Patricia.
Yeah, thank you. And you're part of the family, and I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be in your tribe and help these people each year. Last year, I think we helped 30, 40 families buy a home. Yeah. And a lot of them are first-time home buyers. They got to realize, home ownership. And, that doesn't happen without an awesome realtor like Patricia.
Oh,
she cares. She goes above and beyond. And from a lender perspective, I'm just so grateful to have the opportunity to work with this many folks. And it wouldn't be possible without Patricia.
Thank you, Anders. Well, this is the close of today's The Supreme Lending Dallas Show. And we want to thank you for joining us, and tune in for our next episode. And we look forward to seeing you. Have a blessed day. Thank you.